Tony D and Little Joan with Screenwriter's Rant on Devotion. It's basically Top Gun in the Korean War. Smash, like, and subscribe. Thank you for smashing and liking and subscribing. This is based on a true story about a black pilot, and we're going to talk about it. The interesting thing, I think, is there's a guy in the movie who plays his wingman, and he is one of the guys from Top Gun Maverick. This guy. He's his buddy. Becomes his wingman because he's one of the best pilots ever. And together they, I don't know, fight the Korean War, I guess. So, old school planes and ships and whatnot. So this could be really good. I mean, it's called Devotion, inspired by the incredible true story, I guess, of two friends who became friends because, you know, he was the first black pilot, I guess, in America's forgotten war. Had to deal with racism. It doesn't seem to be heavily racist stuff in this. Doesn't seem to be focused on that. More focused about, I think, the relationship between the two as friends and getting through the war and all that kind of stuff. So it looks similar to Top Gun Maverick, and except it's in the 50s. November 23rd, PG-13, which is interesting. Only PG-13. It seems a little light for war, but guess we could deal with it. It looks great. I mean, in terms of the look, looks fine. Looks like it's going to be, I mean, it's probably not going to be all that fun. You know, it's the 1950s, so you don't have as much music, and, you know, Top Gun had a lot of sort of fun stuff built in. It also had the history. This has history that, unfortunately, I don't think most of the viewing public is going to know very well. So they'll kind of know it. Oh, the Korean War. Yeah, that happened. So I'm not sure there's much of an audience for this, except for the fact that Top Gun Maverick did well, and one of the Top Gun Maverick guys is one of the main characters too. So he was one of the young pilots in Top Gun Maverick, and now he's one of the main guys in this. Basically, it's just him and the lead here. Oh, there's a synopsis. Here we go. Let's read that. Meet the ones who made history in America's forgotten war exclusively in movie theaters this November. Devotion, an aerial war epic based on the best-selling book of the same name, tells of the harrowing true story of two elite U.S. Navy fighter pilots during the Korean War. Their heroic sacrifices would ultimately make them the Navy's most celebrated wingmen. So it sounds cool. I mean, it's based on a book, so Hollywood, it's harder for Hollywood to screw that up because all the information's there, and why not use it? Obviously, they're going to have to take some of it out because, you know, the book would have details in it you probably couldn't even put in the movie, really. But I'd probably see this. I don't know if I'd go to the movie theaters. I'm not big on war epics. I liked Top Gun Maverick a lot, mainly because I saw the first Top Gun and I got caught up in all the, you know, oh, let's go see Top Gun, and it's better than the first movie, and blah, blah, blah. This, I'm not as excited about. I'm not unexcited by it. It's just not my kind of movie. I like more fantastical stuff, but, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I would certainly watch this on video on demand or streaming service or whatever. I don't know if I'd pay for it. Maybe I'd pay a couple of bucks. You know, I'd probably wait for the reviews, and if everybody's raving about it, yeah. So, you know, this could be a critically acclaimed drama. Could get some Oscars. First act, he's the first black Navy pilot, naval aviator, I guess. So he had to be the best of the best of the best in order to overcome racism. And he does, and he has some problems, and then he gets a wingman who's the guy from Top Gun, and And at first, they're not friends, really. He's got some reservations because of all the harassment this guy gets, but, you know, he eventually comes to see it. Well, this guy's a really good pilot. Really good pilot. So, why am I, why do I care? Let's be good pilots together. So, then the war comes in the second act, and, there's big scenes where his wife is like, "Oh no, you're going to war," and he's like, "Oh, we knew this day could come," and so they go to war, and they're doing these missions. So you're seeing the Korean War more from the, Top Gun aircraft carrier side, and they run these missions, and I'm sure there's some real mission in here that gets super detailed. I think they have to blow up a bridge or something, and you see cool shots of him flying his plane just above the water. There's another scene where a MiG shows up, a Russian MiG, and that's a big deal because that would be a plane that could shoot these guys down. So this is the Korean War, basically a war against the Russians, kind of, sort of, not really, and follows their escapades through the war. Now, I don't know the actual history, whether or not they both survive. Maybe one dies or they both die. I don't know. But, third act, they survive the war or don't. It's a big drama moment. Either they complete the big mission or one of them dies and sacrifices himself bravely to save the others. And then there's a wrap up at the end. You find out the real deal, or you see them, and maybe they're dead by now. I don't know. That would be 54, so that's quite a while ago. It's like 70 years. They might still be alive. Might still be. And then the wrap up. So I mean, this is a good movie to see. I think if you want to see history, if it's a good book and if it's true to the history in the book. The book's true to the history and it's not just a drama. I always have reservations about how Hollywood does that, but in this kind of movie, the drama's pretty built in because it's a war. So you don't really need to do too much to make it work because war movies are pretty standard in Hollywood. The racism is already, built into it. It's kind of not that complicated. And it doesn't appear to focus on that. It appears to focus more on the relationship between the two men fighting in the war. I like that. Yeah, the racism's going to come up, but it's not going to be like, I don't think, overarching to consume the plot, as it were. Not like in some of the other movies I've seen recently where it just seems, well, this is an excuse to do another woke movie. Let's do it. So this looks like it could be good. On the heels of Top Gun, definitely, right? Top Gun Maverick does well. You want to see that again? Got one of the same guys is in it, so sure, why not? Right? It'd be funny to tie them both in, like the actors playing. Oh, that was my granddad back in the 50s. That'd be hilarious to do somehow in another Top Gun movie. So, yeah, I think it'll be decent. I mean, if you like war movies, I can kind of take or leave them, I guess. I can't really think of one I thought blew me away. I mean, I used to like the ones back in the 70s, like Force 10 from Navarone and stuff like that, where they were going on missions and, to win World War II and that kind of stuff. I mean, Korean War is not... it's a war. It's not as exciting as fighting in World War II, I guess you'd say. The bad guys from World War II. And, I don't know, seeing those movies back in the 70s and 80s, I didn't really know that much about the war, so it was a little more of a surprise. But, it's interesting to see the technology at that time, because the planes are a little different. They're very similar, but different. So... interesting. It's called Devotion. Comes out in November 3rd, 23rd. Wintertime movie. So exclusively in movie theaters. Check it out if that sounds like your cup of tea. PG-13, no. I'm a little surprised by that. A little surprised, but all right. That's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Right, Little Joan? Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. Joan gets very based in the other videos. So definitely check that out. And we'll see you